The mirror's hidden secrets. Have you ever stood before a mirror, gazing into your own reflection, only to feel that something was staring back, something beyond just your own image? Perhaps, after long enough, your face seemed to change, distort, or even reveal something unfamiliar. What if I told you that this was not just an illusion, but a gateway, one that ancient mystics and modern science both acknowledge as a portal to hidden realms? Mirrors have fascinated and terrified humanity for millennia. They are more than mere objects of vanity. They are tools of divination, self-discovery, and in some cases, doorways to the unknown. From the scrying mirrors of occult practitioners to the eerie folklore of spirits lurking at reflective surfaces, mirrors have always held an unsettling power. But why? What happens when we stare too long into a mirror? Does our mind simply play tricks on us? Or is there a deeper, more mystical force at work? In this video, we will journey into the enigmatic world of mirror gazing, exploring both the spiritual and scientific explanations behind this phenomenon. We'll uncover ancient practices, the psychology of perception, and practical techniques that you can try yourself if you dare. But be warned, the longer you stare, the thinner the veil between this world and something else. Are you ready to see beyond the reflection? The mirror as a portal. Since the dawn of civilization, mirrors have been regarded as more than just tools. For reflection, they have been seen as mystical objects capable of revealing hidden truths, summoning spirits, and even transporting the soul into other realms. Across cultures and centuries, mirrors have been treated with reverence, fear, and awe. Their smooth, glassy surfaces believed to hold secrets beyond human comprehension. The ancient world. Mirrors as divine tools. In ancient Egypt, polished obsidian and bronze mirrors were not only used for vanity, but also for spiritual purposes. The Egyptians believed that mirrors were connected to the afterlife, serving as a link between the living and the divine. Priests and seers used reflective surfaces to communicate with deities, seeking guidance from beyond the veil of reality. The Greeks too saw mirrors as powerful tools for prophecy. The practice of tanatromancy, or mirror divination, was widely used in temples and mystery schools. The Oracle of Delphi, it is said, sometimes used a mirror submerged in water to receive visions from Apollo. Mirrors were not just objects, they were doorways to the gods. The East. The illusion of the South. In Chinese and Japanese traditions, mirrors were often associated with spirits and otherworldly forces. The Chinese believed that mirrors could ward off evil spirits, as supernatural beings feared their own reflection. This idea was so strong that mirrors were sometimes placed in tombs to prevent restless ghosts from returning to the world of the living. In Zen Buddhism, mirrors symbolize the nature of the mind itself, a tool for self-reflection and enlightenment. The famous Buddhist phrase, "The mind is like a mirror, free from dust," suggests that just as a mirror reflects reality without distortion, an enlightened mind perceives the truth without illusion. However, gazing too long into the mirror, both literally and metaphorically, can also reveal unsettling distortions, challenging the very idea of the self. The occult and the supernatural. Mirrors as portals. Perhaps the most famous, esoteric use of mirrors comes from the practice of scrying, a form of divination near which a reflective surface is used to perceive visions, spirits, or hidden knowledge. The legendary occultist John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, used a black obsidian mirror to communicate with angels and receive prophetic messages. His shoe stone, as he called it, was believed to reveal glimpses of the spirit world, much like the crystal ball of later mystics. In European folklore, mirrors have long been linked to the supernatural. Stories of Bloody Mary, a spirit said to appear when her name is chanted in front of a mirror, echo older superstitions about reflections acting as windows to the dead. In many traditions, it was considered dangerous to keep mirrors uncovered at night, as spirits could enter or exit through them. Some cultures even covered mirrors when someone died, fearing that the deceased soul might become trapped inside. The psychological connection. Ancient wisdom meets modern science. Interestingly, what the ancients intuited about mirrors is now being explored by modern psychology. The Troxler effect, A well-documented phenomenon shows that when one stares at a fixed point for long enough, the brain begins to distort the surrounding image. This can cause a person's reflection to morph, shift, or even appear to move on its own. Could it be that what we perceive as ghostly apparitions in mirrors are actually glimpses into our subconscious or something else entirely? From the cryptic mirrors of the past to the scientific revelations of today, one thing remains certain. Mirrors are not just passive objects. They are powerful tools that reveal far more than our physical reflection. They expose something deeper, something ancient, something mysterious. But what exactly happens when you stare into a mirror too long? And why do people report strange, often terrifying experiences? Let's explore that next. The unveiling of the self. The longer you stare into a mirror, the more your reflection begins to shift. It starts subtly. Maybe your eyes seem darker, your face slightly elongated, or shadows form in places where there were none before. But as time stretches, these distortions intensify. Some describe seeing their faces warp into something unrecognizable, while others claim they see faces of other entities staring back at them. But why does this happen? Is it merely a trick of the brain, or is something deeper at play? The science of mirror distortion. A portal to the subconscious. Modern neuroscience provides one possible explanation for this eerie phenomenon: the Troxler effect. When you fixate on a single point, your brain begins to filter out unchanging stimuli to conserve energy. This means that as you stare at your reflection, your peripheral vision begins to fade, causing parts of your face to disappear or blend into the background. The result? A warped, ghostly version of yourself, an illusion created by your own mind. But here's where it gets even stranger. Studies have shown that prolonged mirror gazing can induce altered states of consciousness. Psychologist Giovanni Caputo from the University of Urbino conducted an experiment in which participants stared at their reflections in a dimly lit room for 10 minutes. The results were astounding. 66% saw distortions in their own face. 28% saw an unknown person staring back at them. 48% saw monstrous or grotesque faces. The brain's attempt to interpret its own fading reflection leads to something called dissociative identity effect, a temporary detachment from the self, where one begins to question whether the reflection is truly them. In other words, when you stare into a mirror for long enough, your own mind begins to break down its perception of reality. But what if this isn't just a neurological trick? What if ancient mystics were right in believing that mirrors can reveal deeper layers of the self, layers we are not meant to see? The mirror as a gateway to the unconscious mind. In esoteric traditions, the self is not a single entity, but a multi-layered being. Beneath the conscious mind lies the subconscious, and beneath that, something even more elusive, the shadow self. Mirrors, in many spiritual practices, are said to unveil these hidden aspects, reflecting not just the physical form, but also the unseen depths of the soul. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, spoke of the shadow self, the repressed, darker aspects of our personality that we often refuse to acknowledge. Mirror gazing, whether intentional or accidental, is believed to bring the shadow to the surface. This is why people report seeing grotesque or unfamiliar faces. It is not that the mirror is changing, but rather that the subconscious is revealing parts of the self that usually remain hidden. In other words, staring into a mirror too long forces you to confront the parts of yourself that you may not be ready to see. This is why ancient cultures treated mirrors with such reverence and caution. To stare too long was not just an act of vanity, was an act of self-exploration, of peeling back the layers of reality itself. But if mirrors can unveil the hidden self, could they also open doors to something even more mysterious, something beyond the self? Let's explore that next. Mirrors as portals to other realms. If staring into a mirror can reveal the subconscious mind, then could it also reveal something beyond the self, something otherworldly? Many traditions, both ancient and modern, suggest that mirrors are not just reflections of the physical world, but windows into the unseen. The idea that mirrors serve as portals is not just folklore, it is a belief deeply embedded in esoteric traditions around the world. The paranormal and the dimensional rift. Many who practice prolonged mirror gazing report something far stranger than simple distortions of their own face. They describe seeing figures, shadowy presences, or even feeling as though something is looking back at them. In extreme cases, people claim to see their reflections move independently, smile when they are not smiling, or even step away from the mirror while their physical body remains still. Spiritual practitioners and occultists suggest that mirrors function as thin places where the veil between dimensions is weaker. In some traditions, it is believed that when one stares long enough, they are not just seeing a reflection, but peering into another plane of existence. Could this explain why so many cultures warn against keeping mirrors in bedrooms or using them at night? In Slavic folklore, mirrors were thought to act as gateways for spirits, which is why they were covered after a person's death to prevent the soul from getting trapped. In Japanese mythology, certain mirrors were believed to house spirits, and it was thought that one could see ghosts or yokai by gazing into them at the right moment. Even in modern-day paranormal investigations, mirrors are often associated with supernatural activity, with reports of poltergeist-like disturbances increasing around uncovered mirrors. One of the most famous cases of mirror-based paranormal activity involves the Bloody Mary ritual, in which a person chants a name repeatedly while staring into a mirror. While many dismiss it as a psychological trick, others claim that it works because it alters perception, making one more susceptible to otherworldly influences. But what is actually happening here? The mirror and quantum perception. Seeing beyond the physical. Some modern theorists suggest that mirrors may be more than just tools for reflection. They could be tools for perception beyond the limits of normal human sight. Quantum physics tells us that reality is not as solid as it seems. The observer effect suggests that the very act of looking at something changes it. Could it be that, when we stare into a mirror for long enough, we are shifting our awareness in such a way that allows us to perceive hidden dimensions? Some believe that mirrors amplify energy, which is why they are used in rituals and meditation practices. Others argue that mirrors create an echo of reality, allowing glimpses into parallel timelines or different states of consciousness. And then, there's the idea that mirrors reflect more than just light. They reflect the very essence of the soul, making them powerful but dangerous tools in spiritual exploration. Could it be that when we look into a mirror long enough, we are not just seeing a distorted version of ourselves, but a glimpse into a reality that exists just beyond our perception? The final question: what are we really seeing? The implications of prolonged mirror gazing go beyond simple optical illusions. Whether through psychology, spiritual practice, or quantum theory, the conclusion is the same. Mirrors do more than reflect, they reveal. But what they reveal depends on who is looking. Are we simply witnessing the tricks of our own mind? Or are we seeing something that exists beyond us, something that has always been there, watching, waiting? Before you try it for yourself, ask yourself this: if you stare long enough, will you still be the same person looking back? Practical application: how to use mirror gazing for spiritual exploration. Now that we've explored the history, science, and mystical aspects of mirror gazing, you might be wondering, how can this practice be used intentionally? Whether you seek self-discovery, spiritual awakening, or a deeper understanding of reality, mirror gazing can be a powerful tool when approached with the right mindset. But before you begin, a word of caution: this is not a game. Mirror gazing can lead to intense psychological and spiritual experiences, and it is important to approach it with respect, preparation, and awareness. Preparing for mirror gazing. Setting the right conditions. Mirror gazing works best under specific conditions that alter your perception and allow you to enter a trance-like state. Here's how to set up your space for a safe and effective experience. Choose the right mirror. A large, clean mirror works best, preferably one without any cracks or distortions. Some practitioners prefer black mirrors, scrying mirrors, made of obsidian, as they absorb energy rather than reflect it. Adjust the lighting. Dim lighting, such as candlelight, is ideal. Soft, flickering light creates an atmospheric effect that helps induce an altered state of consciousness. Avoid harsh or direct light, which can be distracting and break the trance. Sit in a comfortable position. Sit directly in front of the mirror at eye level. Maintain a relaxed but upright posture. To stay alert without strain, use a silent, distraction-free environment. The room should be quiet and free of interruptions. Some people find that playing ambient or meditative music helps deepen their focus. Set an intention. Mirror gazing can reveal many things. Before you begin, decide on your purpose. Do you want to explore your subconscious mind, connect with your spiritual self, seek answers to a question or problem? Having a clear intention will focus your experience and protect you from unwanted energies. The mirror gazing process. Entering the trance. Once your space is ready, follow these steps to begin your mirror gazing session. Relax and breathe. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. With each exhale, release tension from your body. Allow your mind to become calm and still. Fix your gaze on your reflection. Open your eyes and stare into your reflection without blinking too often. Focus slightly beyond your eyes, as if looking through the mirror rather than at it. Allow the image to shift within. A few minutes, you may notice subtle changes in your reflection. Your face may appear to warp, shift, or reveal unfamiliar features. Do not panic. Stay present and observe. Maintain a neutral mindset. Avoid fear or judgment. Whatever appears is a reflection of your mind. If emotions arise, acknowledge them, but do not let them take control. Stay in the experience, but know when to stop. Sessions should last between 10-20 minutes, especially for beginners. If you feel overwhelmed, gently break eye contact and close your eyes. Take deep breaths before looking away completely. What you might experience. The possible effects of mirror gazing. Mirror gazing can produce a wide range of experiences. Here are some of the most commonly reported effects. Distorted features, shape-shifting. Your reflection may change form, revealing other selves. This is a sign that your subconscious mind is surfacing, seeing other faces or entities. Some claim to see ancestral spirits, past life identities, or unknown entities. Approach these visions with caution but without fear. Deep emotional release. Repressed memories or emotions may emerge. This can be a profound form of self-healing, if embraced mindfully, a sense of detachment from reality. Some report a strange feeling of not recognizing themselves. This is a form of ego dissolution, similar to deep meditation or psychedelic experiences, a heightened state of awareness. Your intuition and perception may feel sharper after a session. Some describe an expanded sense of self, as if peering beyond physical reality. Protecting yourself. Ending the session safely. While mirror gazing can be insightful, it is important to close the session properly to avoid lingering effects. Break the gaze slowly. Do not abruptly look away. Close your eyes first and take a deep breath. Ground yourself. Place your hands on your knees or the floor. Imagine roots connecting you to the earth, anchoring you in the present moment. Affirm your return to reality. Say a simple affirmation. I am present. I am whole. I am safe. This helps your mind reintegrate back into normal consciousness. Cleanse the space. Optional but recommended. Light incense, use sage, or sprinkle salt around the mirror to remove lingering energy. If the experience felt intense, consider covering the mirror overnight. Final words. Should you try mirror gazing? Mirror gazing is not for everyone. It is a practice that demands patience, courage, and an open mind. It can be an incredible tool for self-discovery, revealing aspects of the psyche and spirit that often remain hidden. However, it is not to be taken lightly. If approached recklessly, it can lead to psychological discomfort or spiritual confusion. If you do choose to explore this practice, do so with respect and intention. And remember, the mirror does not lie. It only reveals what is already within you. Are you ready to meet the reflection that waits beyond the glass? The reflection that watches back. Mirrors have always held an eerie power over the human mind. They show us who we are, but also, perhaps, who we might become. They are tools of vanity, yes, but also of deep introspection, revealing the layers of reality that exist beneath the surface of the ordinary world. What we have explored in this video is not just a series of optical illusions or psychological tricks. Mirror gazing is a practice that bridges ancient wisdom and modern science, tapping into the deepest parts of the subconscious and possibly even the realms beyond our understanding. We learn that mirrors have been used throughout history as sacred tools in divination, self-discovery, and spirit communication. We explored the science of perception, understanding how the brain distorts reality when faced with its own reflection for too long. We go into the esoteric possibilities, asking whether mirrors are merely objects, or if they are, as many traditions believe, doorways to other dimensions of existence. And finally, we uncovered the practical applications of mirror gazing, showing how it can be used as a method of self-exploration, spiritual insight, and even personal transformation. But now, the question is left to you. If you stand before a mirror in a dimly lit room, gaze into your reflection, and hold your focus long enough, what will you see staring back? A simple distortion of light? A glimpse into your subconscious mind? Or something else? If you choose to try this practice, do so with awareness, intention, and courage. But remember this, the mirror only reveals what is already inside you. The real question is, are you ready to face it? If you found this video thought-provoking, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever tried mirror gazing? What did you see? We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and be mindful of the reflection that watches back.